Hello and welcome in this new video about managing users and groups. So in this case we're going to answer a question for the RHCSA, and this time this is important because it's a question that's going to come anyway. I mean, most of the questions are going to come anyway, but this one's for sure, and it's also like creating some kind of dependency, because if you cannot answer this one, well, there are other questions you might not be able to answer because they require some users to be there. So also you will be asked to set up passwords for those users, so you need to know all those things. Create groups, create users, add those users to the group, and so on and so forth. So this is all very important. We will go through this, but let's start immediately. So create a group named sysadmin. That's super easy. Use the command groupadd. Basically they all follow the same pattern. There is groupadd, there is useradd, there is groupdel for removing it, there is userdel for removing the user, groupdel for removing the group. That's pretty simple, but it's important to remember it. So in this case we want to add the sysadmin group. I suggest you copy paste it. If you haven't seen my video on the SSH, it's important because then you will be able to copy paste much easier during the exam. So that's important. Okay, so I added the sysadmin group. You can check that the group is there by using the command get end, and then group, and then sysadmin, and by this you should see that the sysadmin group is there and exists. It also has the ID 1001, but it hasn't have any users in it for now. So we're going to create those users. So we want to create the user Harry. So there are different ways of doing it. You can either create first the user and then add it to the group, or my suggestion is create the user, add it immediately to the group in the same command. It's easier and less error prone. So you want to basically create the user. You could use -m, but this is default. It will automatically create a home directory normally. So you just need to do a -g for the group. This is actually setting the secondary group, and you will tell that this secondary group should be the sysadm. So you should basically also here copy paste it. Well, I just typed it, but yeah, basically better to copy paste it. And then you are going to give it a name. So here it's Harry. So basically by doing that, you're giving it then the right group. If you put the small g though, the problem is that you will replace the primary group. The primary group, there is only one. If you put the little g, so small case g, then you will pick the primary group sysadmin. You will remove the other group. In this case, the question clearly states secondary group sysadmin. So you need to pick the right option with the big G. I think if you do a help, you should see that. This is one of the things you should know. So you see, list of supplementary groups. So this is supplementary, like secondary or supplementary. This is not the primary group. If you put the small g, then it's changing the primary group. So you can see that in the help. Make sure not to make a mistake with that stuff. So back to where I was. So basically you give sysadmin, and the account name is, the username is Harry. So useradd -big G, sysadmin for the group, sysadm, and Harry for the username. So you type that, and then you have a user which is called Harry. You can check that with doing ID Harry, and then you will see that Harry is part of two groups. He has a primary group, the Harry group, and as secondary group he has the sysadmin group, which is fine. This is exactly what we want. Then we want to add the same thing for Natasha. So basically same command. And again, I suggest you copy paste. I'm doing it now typing, but that's not good practice. You should copy paste to avoid typos. And you do the same. Now you would check it. Always check what you're doing. ID Natasha. Natasha is also in the sysadmin group. So these answers are already all good. Then, oh yeah, that's a good one. Sarah with the login shell disabled. So this one, you need to know how to set the shell, and you need to know what to set as a shell for no shell, basically, which is funny. So in this case, you need to check here. Actually, we have it above still. The -s is the shell. We will define the shell, but you also need to know what is a no shell, and that's a bit tricky. From memory, I think it's user bin no login, but let's check. No up. Maybe it's not that. Wait a second. No login. Where was it? Yeah, it's sbin. Sorry. In worst case, you can always do a find and search for it. But yeah, I just remembered it's in sbin and no login. Actually, if you just type which no login, maybe it's telling you. Yeah, actually, you just do a which no login and it's giving you the exact link. So you just actually you don't need to remember the above. That's very stupid from me. You just type which no login and then it will tell you the path. So now you need to set that as shell. Basically, this is the trick. So you go in here, and so in this case, we want Sarah not to be a member of sysadmin, so we remove that stuff. But we are going to give it a shell, and the shell will be this. And that's basically it. But well, okay, we need to give this Sarah. The name will be Sarah. So let's have a look again. Sarah should have the login shell disabled, no interact shell, and not a member of sysadmin. So she's not a member of sysadmin. Now if we ID Sarah, we should see that she has this. If we do cat etc password file, it should give us basically also Sarah, and we should see here that she has the sbin no login as shell. Whereas the others, they have the regular bin bash, which is basically default. So this is all correct, and Sarah is not part of the secondary group, which we can't see here, but we can see it if we do ID Sarah. We will see that again she's only in the group Sarah, which is fine. And okay, all 3 users must have the password lalala. Okay, that's an easy one. I said the stupid password. There will be another password in the exam, but you just make sure you copy it. So I'm also going to copy this, and I'm going to do the simple command password, and then we will do Harry, and it will tell you new password. You give it the password and retype the password, and we're good. And you do the same for what was it? Natasha. Password. Oh. Okay, well, okay, then I might have not typed. Okay, I will do it again. Maybe I didn't. Oh, what happened? Maybe it did that also. Oh, yeah, okay, did that also above. I didn't see. Okay, I'll do it again anyway. It's okay. You just ignore that. It's fine. It's not bad. Good practice. And anyway, they will give you a password that's normally more than 8 characters, so you will be good to go. Sorry, it's my bad. I didn't think about that limitation. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of not a limitation, but yeah. So, and then we want to do Sarah as well, and new password, la 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 la, and up, that's it. So basically you use the same command, which is, okay, I will clear it up, use the same command, which is this password, but passwd, so basically you just type passw and it will complete it to passwd, and if you're as root, if you're logged in as root, then you can do it without sudo, and you can change the password for all the users. So we are all done with this part. Now we need to do something that's a little bit more tricky. Members of the sysadmin group, sysadm group, must be able to create new users via sudo. So we need to do what is called a vsudo. So this is a funny command line where you have basically the visual. I'm editing it with Vim here, but basically you have. This is the file where you are storing who has the permissions to do what, and especially as like elevated privilege. So basically you need to do some tricks here, and the tricks will be to add some stuff so that these users do what they are allowed to do. So for instance, this is a bit tricky here. Members of the sysadm group must be able to create new users via sudo. So how do you create new users? You create new users via the useradd command. But you need to specify the absolute path. It's not okay if you just write the command because in the command line, of course, you're having your environment and so on, and they pick the right binary for you to execute the useradd. But in this case of the vsudo, you need to specify exactly the command that they want to do. For instance, you have typically, look, here you have an example, so that makes it easy. You see that the users group are allowed to use this command shutdown, but they pick the exact command on the local host. So you're not allowed to do it everywhere. It's on the local host, and you are allowed to do this. And you are allowed to do like this, with this command, this exact command. So it's important to know what you're doing here. And in this case, we want the sysadmin group. So what we want to do, we will edit this, but before we edit this, we make sure we know what is useradd. So we do a which, just like we did before, but this time with useradd. And then we see useradd is this command. It's also in the sbin. So we copy that. We go back to vsudo, and we go completely at the bottom, so page down. And somewhere here you have those with the groups. So basically you can go anywhere here, it doesn't matter, it's all commented. So you can, I don't know, you can put it there, for instance, and then you already paste your stuff. So you need the % for the group. I will make a space already, and you do the sysadmin group. So then there is the trick. What is this all? And like you see, there is this weird stuff with all and so on. So that's a bit weird. You can just copy it without thinking so much. You copy this one without thinking so much. The idea is the first all is the hosts. This rule applies to, and all means in this case any host. That's why in the other example they use localhost above, but you can just put it all because it doesn't matter, especially for the exam. And in parentheses, this is like the target user that the user or the group might use, may run command as. So in this case, we can also put all, but you could also put a specific user within that group, so that may make it tricky. But in this case, we'll just do the all. All, basically, we can copy this. So we'll just copy this bit and add it here, which is fine. And then we are going to go through with the rest. So basically we have here everything we need, because the group, look, the group sysadmin will be able from any machine as on localhost or anything, as any user, as long as they're part of the sysadmin, they will be able to use the command sbin useradd. So this is what we want. The next one, actually for doing the next one, we'll first save this one, which is fine, it was saved. Now, the next one is user Harry must be able to change other users' passwords without being prompted for a sudo password. So for this one, we can do basically the same, but we need a little bit of tweaking here. And also we want to check the password command. So if we check the password command, this is this one. So it's slightly different. You see, this one is stored in bin password and not sbin useradd. So this is a little bit different. The path is different. Before it was sbin for useradd and now it's bin for password. So let's do vsudo again. We copied this, so now we go down and then we will do something for the user. And if you check here, is there something for the user? No, but it's the same principle basically, except we don't need to do anything with the %. So we just put basically Harry, and we will put the same thing with this all. Basically for the exam, you don't need to mess up with that part really. It shouldn't, they shouldn't make something weird where you need to specify a local host or something. And here you need to put something specific, which is the no password command. Because it's written here user Harry must be able to change other users' passwords without being prompted for a sudo password. Be careful here. So here you need the no password, and you can find it really in that vsudo file, in the sudoers file. So vsudo allows you to see that, and it will check the syntax after you're done. So this is a good tool. You should know vsudo by heart, and you should know how to do this. And here, important, no password. Written like this exactly. You copy paste it from there, it will be there. It's always the same examples in those files. And then we are good, except we want also to set, well, technically this should work as it is, but we may want to put a star here because it's to allow any user. You could technically also use regex here, but if you're not familiar with regular expression, it doesn't matter. It won't be, I don't think it could be in the exam because that would be a bit too much. But technically they could ask to make some restrictions based on, like, you know, the number of characters or which characters. No, like they could do some weird stuff. Basically for the exam you just need to remember this. So Harry, the user, then on which host, you say any kind of host, that's okay. And then no password, important in the case of this question, and the name of the command, basically the name of the binary that you use for the command. In this case, it's transitive, like it can have an argument, so we put the star, but we could also put the star above here, really, that's okay. We actually don't need to put that star, we could also remove it. See, and I think it's gonna work. We will test it anyway. Look, we are going to do this, and we will save. And basically now I could log in as Harry. Let's try it. And now I'm Harry basically, and I will do the password file, the password command, and the password command for Natasha, for instance. Oh, only root can specify a username, you see? Haha. Okay, let's try again. Exit. I'm going back to root. And let's see if I put the star. Maybe I need the star actually. Well, sometimes, you know, you need to tweak a little bit. So let's try again, Harry. And let's try again, password Natasha. Oh, this is interesting. Let's try. Ah, you see? Now, if I do sudo, it's gonna work because, well, we need to use the sudo. Actually, let me try again. I'm just thinking. This was my mistake actually for not using sudo. So, but it's good practice actually. You see that there are some funny cases like this. So if I go here and I remove the star, I think it should be working without the star actually. And now let's go to Harry. So if I do password Natasha, then it won't work, but if I do a sudo password Natasha and without the star, I think it should still work. Yeah, you see? So here I can set another password. For instance, I set the password lalala and lalala, and it worked basically. So logged in as Harry, I used sudo without entering my own password, which is what we wanted, to change another user's password. So in this case, we fulfilled the thingy, and we could also log in as Natasha, let's say. And as Natasha, she's part of the sysadm group, so we want to test also this one. It's good to test everything you do. And so as Natasha, now I'm going to add the user, add a user. I'm going to add the user myself, Nico. Okay. And it doesn't work if I don't put sudo, but if I put sudo, yeah, you see, it tells me, we trust you have received the usual lecture, but it lets me do it. So then I need to put, but it asks me for the password. And now I changed the password from Natasha, remember. So now it's 4 times la, it's la 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 la. La la la. I just did it. So, and now if I check ID versus Nico, it will let me check also, and you see that the user Nico was created, which wasn't the case before. So basically it confirms that everything is working. But for instance, let's try as Natasha. If we do a sudo password Sarah, for instance, then it's not allowed, even with sudo, because it's not allowed. You see, it tells you user is not allowed to do it, to execute as root on So it's basically we did it all correctly and we checked. We checked that the sysadmin group was able to create new users via sudo. User Harry must be able to change all the users' passwords without being prompted for a sudo password. So without the sudo password, we were able to change other users' password. We did that for Natasha. And actually, I'm going to change it again, just to be sure. I don't know if it comes up in the next questions. I think not. But like if we change password for Natasha, and I'll set it back to lalala so that it's exactly like it was supposed to be in the questions I did, and check that everything is also persistent across reboots. In this case it will be with the commands I inputted, so we just did things correctly. I think we went through the most important stuff. Well, okay, we didn't do the regular expression thingies for in the vsudo, but I think it would be a bit too far and you won't need it during the exam. If ever you make a mistake and you want to remove a user, let's say for instance now I added the user Nico, I could do user del Nico, and don't forget, if you want to remove, actually you can do like this, help, and you will see if you want to remove the home directory and the mail spool of the user Nico, for instance, don't forget the -r. It's the remove, you will delete the user, but you will also delete his home directory, because right now, if you check home, okay, I don't know home here, well, it's the Odysseus, okay, no, well. So here, if you do ls/lan, then you will see you have all those users. You have the Vagrant users, because we are using Vagrant. You have Sarah, Natasha, Harry that we just created, but also the Nico user that has created while being logged in as Natasha. And we don't want that. So if we want that to remove this, now we will do user del. If I did Nico only, then I would still have the home directory. So I want to do R, and I will do it like this, and then if I do this, then it's gone as well. So this is how you do it. And I think with that, that closes the little section on users and groups management and everything you need to answer the questions that will come up in here. So see you in the next lesson.